Hi, welcome back to my ongoing Doctor Who breakdown. I wear glasses now. Things have been going very not well for a multitude of reasons. I don't have a dog anymore, for reasons I don't want to get into. And that was partly why I've had quite a long break from this project. The other half was, as I mentioned during Series 6 of Doctor Who, like I was finding it kind of sad and less good than I remembered, which was doubly sad because, you know, when you return to something that you remember as being so good, and it's more complicated than that. Like, I do like Series 6, but it is more complicated and it's so good. It's just sad. So life wasn't going great. Still not going great. But from watching some more Doctor Who. Series 7. It's not very good, is it? It's really not very good. Which is a shame. We start strong. Asylum of the Daleks. Now, I know people don't massively like this one. I do. I think everyone else is wrong. Which is a pattern. Asylum of the Daleks. Oh, man. Okay. So let's have a look. Right. So, a thing that gets said about Amy and Rory, Amy's shit sci-fi pregnancy, is that there aren't any consequences for it. And that is mostly true. But Amy and Rory start this episode broken up for reasons we, the audience, don't know. And they have this chat in the middle where, like, Amy broke up with Rory because she was letting him go because she can't get pregnant because of what they did to her on Demon's Run, and he's wanted kids, he's always wanted kids. Now, I was iffy on that he's always wanted kids line when I first rewatched this a little while back, but then actually when you watch Rory throughout the show, it is kind of true, actually, especially in Amy's choice. He's very kid-focused, so, like, it's not very prominent in the show, but it is there. This is all done a bit quick, though. I chatted to one of my buddies about it, and, like, one of my buddies really doesn't like Good Man Goes to War because of the Amy pregnancy nonsense. And my buddy considers this to be entirely insufficient a follow-up to that nonsense. And I can totally see that. I like it as a thing. We introduce the Dalek eye stalks coming out of people's heads, which is goofy, but fine. I like the Daleks having sleeper agents. I think that's pretty cool. So it means the Daleks are more than just running around and zapping, or, like, getting the most ridiculously naive human agents who work for them and go, these obviously evil robots won't turn on me. They need me. Oh, wait, now they don't need me anymore. Zap. Anyway, so the Daleks kidnap the Doctor and Yalas. The Daleks don't think that the Doctor is dead for reasons. Don't worry about it. Oh, no, yeah, he showed up. I remember. Actually, so yeah, like, he responded to a distress signal, and she got him. So they weren't actually looking for the Doctor. Smart. Okay. So the Daleks say that there's this distress signal coming from this planet where they house the asylum, and it's our first introduction of Osgood. It is a pretty good introduction. She is baking souffles, which is a nice bit of setup and payoff. We have quite a nice set of characterization. Her first interactions with the Doctor in particular are not great because they're quite flirty. This wouldn't be a problem by itself, except it's definitely a pattern for Moffat. When he doesn't really know what to do with a man and a woman when they're interacting, he defaults to flirty. It's not a problem, it's just a problem because it's kind of repetitive, and it's not great to just have a default mode, which is just kind of hetero. Let me see. So one of the three of them is going to get, like, slowly converted into a Dalek puppet. You have some quite nice moments where your man's talking to a person on the surface. Yeah, talking to this guy on the surface. And they're talking to him, and they go, "Oh, how did you survive?" And he goes, "I didn't. Oh, I remember. We crashed, and I died, and my body was preserved by the ice." It's weird how this shit can slip your memory. It's like, oh, that's good. With horror, I really like that sort of slow creeping realization moment. There is a bit in the first series of American Horror Story where someone goes down into the creepy basement with a ghost in it, and they're rolling a ball about, presumably because they're a child, and the ball gets rolled back to them out of the dark because there's a monster there, and they don't know exactly what's up with this because they're a kid, and so they sort of look into where the ball rolled out of, and rather than there being a jump scare, the sort of camera focuses and the light brightens ever so slightly, and we start seeing the face revealed there very, very slowly, to the point where, when I was watching it at least, my eyes sort of focused and I suddenly realised a face was there and had been for a while. It's so cool. And yeah, like a character realising they're dead and not freaking out about it and just going, oh yeah. That's very creepy. It's very uncanny. I like it a lot. I really like these Daleks. I like them being obviously inert. Because, like... Oh, yeah. Can we just talk about that audio? It's a really great piece of audio because it's very, very mechanical, and we're used to Daleks being very space-agey and very zoom whoosh because of all the flying and shit. And they're very electronic, their voices, their force shields, they're very, very high-tech. So having that grinding of metal against metal and that squeak of ungreased bearings, that's not a sound we're used to with Daleks. Very cool. And then the Dalek turns itself back. And so we're going, oh no, these things aren't actually just comatose lying there. That is a position the Dalek chose to be in, and it has more life in it than Rory expected. Very nice. So he backs away, knocking into something, which brings the Daleks to life. And so, like, oh no, I've tripped over something, which is alerting the monster, is kind of shit. It's used as, like, escalation shorthand a lot, and it's very rarely, like, dealt with well. Usually because, like, why is there something on the floor? Why is this person who should be at least very careful about what their footing is doing, why are they suddenly tripping over something? I think it works here because Rory was backing away, so he wouldn't necessarily have seen it. Very nice. I like it a lot. So Osgood is chatting to the people and she's going, oh yeah, I can get you out of this. And it's really cool. There's no real reason why she should be able to do this. Like, she's hacked into the Dalek mainframe. That's basically impossible. There's a lot of setup and payoff. Very nice. Amy gets, like, zapped in the neck by some Dalek whatever, and so she sees the Daleks in the asylum as this. And we obviously know that this isn't what Amy is seeing. We know it's a Dalek asylum. We don't know exactly what's going on. And then we get it revealed. Yeah. So Amy says it's fine. And the doctor says, no, look at what's going on. And we see that the person spinning around, the ballerina spinning around, was just a Dalek doing a spinny spin. Very nice, very cool. There's real commitment to horror, this episode, in a way that's very nicely done. Let me see. So then the doctor sets up a self-destruct bomb, and it, like, zooshes backwards into the room with the other Daleks. It blows up. Jobs are good. Yeah, and the doctor is, like, carrying Amy out. So Amy is being slowly converted into being a Dalek puppet. And this is where the doctor, starts to work on fixing Amy and Rory's relationship problems. He gives Amy his little bracelet that stops her being converted. Jobs are good, and, like, it's quite nice. Like, it's not amazing. It's good. We have the resolution of the argument. What I will give to this episode is the resolution of the argument is not actually quick. It takes a while. It's a good old chunk of the episode, which is quite nice. Anyway, so yeah, the doctor goes to find Osgood, and he finds Osgood, and she's actually been converted into a Dalek. Very nice. And if you look back at where Osgood has been this whole time, it looks like a Dalek eye stalk, doesn't it? the episode has been telling you this whole time. It's very, very good. And then Osgood, like, wipes the Doctor from the Dalek, like, mainframe, because she's a Dalek. She got converted into being a Dalek. I'm not sure about a human being converted into a Dalek, like, for race purist fascists. That's a bit sus, but fucking whatever. I like it in this. And yeah, Amy and Rory go back home. They are back together again. And, like, that is a perfectly good exit for Amy and Rory. That's probably what they should have done. But yeah, I like it. I think it is... I think it's good. I don't think it's very... Oh yeah, it's better than all of these. Fuck it, it's very good. We're gonna need to... like... There's not going to be very many good episodes coming up, so when we see them, we have to use them, sadly. Okay, so that's as good as the news is getting, because the rest of them are bad. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship is very clearly one of those episodes that was pitched with the title, and that was 100% of what happened. So the Doctor is escaping, Nefertiti tries to fuck him, which sadly is a fucking pattern. This episode's written by Chris Chibnall, and it has a lot of Chris Chibnall's problems. It has this, like, space agency. I can't remember the name of the space agency, because I need to know what it is, because if I just guess, it'll be quite racist. ISA. I want to say Indian Space Agency. I don't know. But yeah, it's nice for the space agency to be randomly from, like, the Indian subcontinent. Cool. The Doctor is friends with this guy, played by Lestrade. And, like, this guy's a big game hunter. Why the fuck is the Doctor friends with a big game hunter? It's a bit weird. We have this guy. This guy is Rory's dad. He is amazing. He is also Peterson from Red Dwarf, who's also in Harry Potter, but we don't talk about that. And he's a dad character. There is nothing else to his character. He's just a dad, and that's cool. Like, Chris Chibnall, he can only do characterization when he has a very broad character to work from. Nefertiti, in this episode, has no character whatsoever, apart from she is a girl boss. That's it. And the big game hunter is a misogynist prick. So yeah, there are dinosaurs on this spaceship. And where is everyone else on the spaceship? Who knows? They get teleported. His dad just has a kit, and he's got a trowel, because of course he has, because he's Rory's dad and he's the most precious character in the world, and I will go to the wall for him. And so yeah, he digs, and he finds, oh look, there's some metal down here. That shouldn't be down there. And it's because, yes, you're on a spaceship. We're in, like, a hydroelectric station. And yeah, let me see.
Wife of the great King Amenhotep, Queen Nefertiti of Egypt. Oh my god, Queen Nefertiti. I learned all about you at school. You're awesome. Big fan. High five. You're really famous.
Like, as with all Chris Chibnall's dialogue, that was Nefertiti introducing what's famous about her. Amy going, wow, you're famous. The high five bit, like, Karen Gillan solved that very well, even though it's, like, shit. And then, like, big game hunters, like, ooh. They're trying to work out what's going on. We get chased by pterodactyls. Very nice. There sees two robots. Played by David Mitchell and Robert Webb. Very good casting, but it's casting that's going to be a problem in a minute.
The weed killer didn't go missing here.
Whoever's running this vessel left in a hurry.
Maybe a plague came and took them.
No, it'd be corpses and bones.
Unless the animals ate. No Chuckle Brothers. Lighten up, would you? How to do that? I've spent enough time with the Doctor to know whenever you enter somewhere new, press buttons. What else have you learned from him? Don't stop at button pressing.
Like, it's not bad dialogue, exactly, but it's got this problem of, if this is the only thing the dialogue is, and it is, with Chris Chibnall, then it's just like, like, as dialogue that gets you from A to B, it's fine. It should be better, but it's fine. The problem is with Chris Chibnall, it's not dialogue that gets you from A to B. It is A and B and the dialogue in between. So it's just lifeless and kind of shit. So yeah, the Silurians on Miss, we'll get into it.
Millennia, see how your paperwork does.
Don't listen to him. Just being mean because we captured him.
Similarly, like, Chris Chibnall actually does pretty well with the Michelin Web robots because they're just squabbling, and it's hard to do squabbling badly. I mean, I'm sure it's possible. There's a Triceratops that gets ganked later. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's the, like...
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Space Ark. Absolute tommyrot.
Only an idiot denies the evidence of their own eyes.
Egyptian queen or not, I shall put it across my knee and spank you.
Lord, try. And I'll snap your neck in a heartbeat.
Well, they certainly bred firecrackers in your town.
Oh, no. Please don't start flirting.
Was that flirting? Because to me it looked like the big game hunter was being a massive prick. Nefertiti was going, stop being a prick. And the big game hunter went, I'm like, oh no, of straight's okay. So yeah, that's a pretty serious problem. There's this guy. So he got on board the massive Silurian Ark thing by pretending to have problems. He then woke up the Silurians one by one, or like in small groups, and the Michelin Web robots escorted them to the airlock and zhuzhed them out. And so, like, he took this ship of 1,000+ Silurians and murdered them all in small groups. And like, oh, that's a bit of a tonal shift, isn't it? Like, this one guy with these crap robots who, again, are just shooting at these characters who are trying to ride a Triceratops and fully nothing is happening. So they clearly are no threat whatsoever, but apparently they committed a genocide or something. Oh my God. Like, there is a difference between... So having a varied tone, going into lighthearted stuff and serious stuff, that is fine, but... Like the difference between a varied tone and an inconsistent tone really interests me, and there's no like hard line you can come down on, really. It's going to fall down to a lot of individual preference, but this is bad. It's very, very bad. And like the evil dude finds the evil dude is like, oh, I want a doctor, and then the doctor goes to him, and like, he doesn't mean the doctor, he means a doctor because he's dying or something. But it's just a weird thing to say because it's what a lot of people have said in the show up to that point, meaning the doctor. And considering the doctor is supposed to be dead at this point, it's weird to have it in there. It doesn't need it. But anyway, that is like just a quibble. Anyway, so Nefertiti shows up because he's threatened to kill everyone, and then he grabs Nefertiti and threatens her with sexual violence. Oh boy. So yeah, like, they're doing things. Amy and the big game hunter tranquilize a lot of velociraptors. The doctor shows up, rescues Nefertiti, and has completely disarmed this guy. Let me remind you, this guy is just a man. He has robots, and he has a weird ableist crutch blade thing. But otherwise, he's just a guy. And the doctor, like, chooses to leave him behind.
Think about missiles, very literal. This is what they latch on to. Now, one press of this and the ship's demagnetized.
God, whatever you want, I can get it for you. Whatever object you desire.
Did the Silurians beg you to stop?
Looks on them. Missiles.
See them shine, see how valuable they are. And they're all yours.
You wouldn't believe me, Doctor.
Enjoy your bounty.
That is very not in character. Because that is actually murdering someone. Like, from Batman Begins, there's the line, oh, I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you. Like, that's a decision he makes in the split second. And it's still kind of murdery, let's face it. And, like, we can talk about how justified that is. But the Doctor here, like, really deliberately puts the thing the missiles are tracking on this guy's ship and then locks the guy in with it. And it takes a little while. He's really deliberately killing this guy. And so when Blom in Boomtown said, oh, just because you're taking me to my death, that makes you my executioners. And that was absolute bullshit. But in this, the Doctor is executing him using the missiles. Like, he brought the thing that the missiles were tracking to the ship and locked the guy in it. That, like, the Doctor killed that guy. And it's wild to me that Chris Chibnall got given the Doctor Who gig. He doesn't get it. He does not get it. There is also a little bit in this episode about Amy and Rory sort of... It's been like a year since the Doctor last travelled with Amy and Rory, and Amy's a bit about it. And Rory's dad is a bit, is this always what it's like? And that's setting up the mini arc for this series, which is a bit frustrating, because it should be good. Like, that is a nice idea. The fact that the Doctor is sort of showing up for Amy and Rory less and less, and they're sort of engaging with life more and more. And the Doctor asks Amy at some point, like, how's your job? Because last time he saw Amy was Asylum of the Daleks when she was working as a model. And Amy said, oh, I stopped doing that because I was always waiting for you to show up. And, like... wankers would say this is clear evidence of Moffat sexism, like, Amy's giving up her job for the Doctor. Like, how sexist is that? But the show is making that point. Like, that is in there because the show is going, look, Amy isn't actually living her life on Earth much. She's kind of just sort of waiting for the Doctor to show up. That's a bad thing. Like, and it would be good if it wasn't rushed and written by Chris Chibnall. Town Called Mercy. Okay, so... Oh, no, I didn't do the thing. Dinosaurs on a spaceship. Is it bad or terrible, do we think? Oh, yeah, and at the end of Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, Nefertiti and the Big Game Hunter are fucking. It's like, oh, God, no. The girl boss and the misogynist. I mean... pair the fucking stereotypes together, but there is no way Nefertiti, as written, would be into this misogynist wanker. Is it bad or terrible? It's terrible because of the sexism and the threats with sexual violence and shit. Like, it's bad. It's bad, Chris. What the fuck are you doing? Town Called Mercy. I don't have a massive amount to say about Town Called Mercy, apart from none of it fucking works. So the backstory is, there's this guy who's an alien, and he's a sort of eugenicist person who took a load of volunteers and converted them into cyborg warriors, and the cyborg warriors won this war. The war had been waging for 7 years or something, and he won the war in a week with his cyborg warriors. And okay, and so there's a cyborg warrior that's tracked him down, and it's waiting outside this town. But it won't go into the town because there's a possibility of collateral damage. Fair enough. But the problem is, the cyborg warrior looks like this. The cyborg warrior looks crap. It is a crap Doctor Who effect. Like, it is a very not good series of prosthetics and visual effects. And that would be fine if they had altered the script so that these cyborgs weren't like miracle killing machines that had won this war in a week. And the cyborg actually isn't very good. Like, he can track people, he's got a short-range teleport, and he's got a gun. Like, other than that, it's not really much of a problem. Anyway, so the point of this episode is a dilemma of, partly this guy is a war criminal, and so is the Doctor because of him blowing up Gallifrey or whatever, and the Daleks. And it's not good, but it's not terrible. The thing is, we're in Series 7 now, and the Doctor has been dealing with this grief and guilt about the Time War for 7 series now. It's a bit late. Like, we get it. Can we move on? Like, there's no... I don't think this was the time to do this sort of episode. And so, like, they come up with this plan to get him out of town. The Cyborg has gotten fed up and he says, I'm going to come into town tomorrow at noon and kill everyone until you give me the guy. Bear in mind, the Cyborg can just walk in at any point. Like, there's nothing actually keeping him out. It's just him not wanting to do collateral damage. So he could just do it. And he's already done a collateral damage earlier because he killed a sheriff or whatever. Anyway, so at night they're talking. We don't hear them discuss plans, which is very important. So we don't know if they have any sort of plan. It's all this, oh, we're the same, you and I, we're not so different. And then we skip straight to noon, right? We go night, we're not so different, you and I, bang, noon. And it's because they wanted this episode to be a high noon sort of Western. And it doesn't work because British people do not have the cultural background to, like, philosophically and emotionally get the Western, because the Western is very, very founded in, like, American exceptionalism and Manifest Destiny and all that shit. And so, like, it just comes across as a bit of a pale imitation. Anyway, he comes in and they've painted a lot of these runes on people's faces. So this incredibly advanced cyborg sees these runes that they've painted on people's faces and can't tell which one of them's the doctor who did the eugenics and shit. And then the doctor just blows himself up. And so it's another episode where the doctor shows up, doesn't really do anything, has a plan, but the plan, like, gets the target out of town to his ship, and then the guy just blows himself up. And the reason he blows himself up is he knows he can't go anywhere in space because the cowboy robot will follow him. And that's fine, but the doctor does have a TARDIS, so he could take your man into the distant past where the cowboy couldn't follow him. They never mention that. And, like, so the show is, he turns up, there's some not particularly interesting moral back and forth about the difference between the Doctor and this eugenicist war criminal. The eugenicist war criminal blows himself up. The end! And the cyborg is the marshal for this town that's called Mercy. And it's like, and again, because the eugenicist blows himself up, the show has used suicide as a way out of the writing corner it's stuck itself in. It's like, well, the episode is entirely meh. It lacks the ridiculous fucking sexism, etc. from the last episode. So it's just bad as opposed to terrible, but we're going into the Power of Three. The Power of Three is actually kind of interesting because it is just these guys hanging out on Earth, and that's it. Like, it's the Doctor just hanging out in this Earth setting, doing nothing. We introduce Kate Lethbridge-Stewart for the first time, which is nice. Rory's dad's in it. And yeah, we see Amy and Rory without the Doctor living their life, and they're sort of getting into it. They're enjoying life as it is. And like, people in their lives are going, oh, you're unreliable, both of you. We want to, like, one of Amy's friends wants her to be a bridesmaid, and she's going, oh no, I can do it, I'm here for it. And she does. And, like, Rory wants more shifts at work, and work goes, oh yeah, you're really showing up, Rory, that's awesome. There are these cubes. The cubes are nothing. And yeah, Rory's dad is like, so the Doctor shows up and takes them off on an adventure. It's quite cool. And Rory's dad goes, how long were they gone for? And then Rory's dad does the what happens to your previous companions thing. And the Doctor goes, well, some die, some leave, and some get stuck somewhere else. And it's actually pretty good. And it's continuing this thing of Amy and Rory actually finding their own lives on Earth. It's building towards quite a good exit for them. And then, yeah, the plot kicks in, and the plot is solved by, so everyone, like, a third of the people on Earth are having a heart attack, and the Doctor turns off the machine, reversing the heart attacks, and that entirely solves the problem. The resolution is the Doctor, like, points his sonic screwdriver and solves everything, and that is, like, one of the crappiest resolutions Doctor Who has had. However, because it actually does at least make sense, as opposed to, for example, the ending of Series 3, where the Master, cowers before the Doctor, who's floating through the air like Jesus and then just gives up for no reason. Like, I would say Power of 3 is okay, which is, like, a bit of a low bar, but, like, the majority of it is just Rory, Amy, and sometimes the Doctor just hanging out on Earth, and it's just kind of nice, and it's fun, and it's silly. And Chris Chibnall's writing isn't very good, but it doesn't need to be. It's just kind of, it's that. If, like, my bar for something being okay is, would I recommend anyone watch it? And for Power 3, yeah, sure. It's got a crap ending, and there are all sorts of rumours as to why the ending was crap. Like, the one I've heard the most often is this guy who is the baddie on the spaceship. Supposedly, the actor was a massive dickhead, and so a lot of his footage wasn't usable. I'm not massively... I have no idea if that's true, but it's Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall can't write endings for shit, so no matter what the case was going to be, the ending was always going to be bad. So in some ways, the fact that the ending is so, like, tacked on and crap, it's like the Doctor just turns off the evil device. It's like, that's possibly a good thing in terms of Chris Chibnall endings, because it's just, and then everything was fine. So then we get to The Angels Take Manhattan. The Angels Take Manhattan is very possibly Moffat's only bad episode. I will need to check this. But yeah, so The Angels Take Manhattan, nothing works. Okay, so we start off with this private investigator who's gone to talk to this guy, and they're clearly setting up the Weeping Angels because one of the Weeping Angels is gone again or something. And yeah, so he goes to this place and people are watching him. There's a child who's doing the Weeping Angel face. He goes inside. There are Weeping Angels inside. It's all quite creepy. It's all quite good. He finds his own name on a door. He finds his own ID. And he's in there. Like, there's this old guy who's dying in the bed. But he can't get out. He has to go up to the roof and the Weeping Angels chase him up to the roof, where there is the Statue of Liberty, which is a Weeping Angel. Now, this is one of the worst things Moffat's ever written. It's goofy and shit. Like, okay, it is a reveal that asks far too many questions, but just don't get answered. Has the Statue of Liberty always been a Weeping Angel, or was it converted? Was it one now and it's not anymore? Like, which is sort of implied, but also sort of not. But also, like, it's just about possible that the Statue of Liberty would be a Weeping Angel. But the Statue of Liberty has shown up in the middle of a district in New York, and we've seen there are a bunch of people looking out of the windows. So the first time it does this, the first time the Statue of Liberty shows up in the middle of New York, it would get stuck there because everyone will be coming out of their places going, what the fuck? The Statue of Liberty is in the middle of New York. What happened? So it's just completely inconceivable. The idea doesn't work, and you would have to be so swept along by the narrative in order to think it does work that it would need to be the world's best episode. And like, so throughout the episode, Amy and Rory, at one point, they're in this hotel and they go, oh, I can hear stomping outside. And we, the audience, know it's the Statue of Liberty monster. But it never gets referred to as that. So I've got a feeling that there were some rewrites and that they did this Statue of Liberty thing in post because whatever happened wasn't really working. Anyway, so we do the title sequence. Okay, so the Doctor is reading a book. And the first thing he does is turn to the last page and rip it out because he doesn't like endings. Okay. That's not bad exactly, but it's being very obviously done to set up the theme of this episode is an ending. And even if we didn't know this was Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill's last episode, like, this would be hitting us over the head with the symbolism with a fucking trowel, right? So if you wanted to do this, it should have been in a previous episode, right? Because it's not exactly out of character. It's a bit quirky. It's a bit, really? But, you know, I mean, it's fine as a thing. It's just, it's got all the subtlety of a dead salmon in your bed. And so, like, that's kind of a microcosm of everything wrong with this episode. It's got a lot of things in this that are kind of good ideas. They're just rushed and not integrated properly and done kind of badly. And also, the ending of the thing is not usually on the last page. The last page of a book is usually just kind of admin. Okay, so Rory goes off to get coffee, and he gets zapped into the past by some angel babies. Oh, yeah. 11 is looking at Amy and going, something's different, something's wrong. She's wearing glasses. And 11 goes, oh, I know what's wrong. You've got wrinkles around your eyes, right? And she doesn't. Like, Karen Gillan does not have crow's feet. Karen Gillan does not have wrinkles around her eyes. Karen Gillan, she looks a bit older than she was, but not much older, really. And she is not obvious. She's into middle age by the fact that she's probably in her 30s at this point, but, like, she doesn't have wrinkles around her eyes. So it comes across as kind of weirdly sexist, which is not great. And again, like, the Doctor going, oh, you've aged, is again not very subtle. She's too old to be travelling with him or whatever. So yeah, Rory gets zapped into the past and he meets River. And they go to the fucking guy. The TARDIS winds up in a cemetery for reasons they don't understand. The Doctor isn't interested, which is also out of character. And it's again foreshadowing with the subtlety of a brick. Rory gets thrown down into the basement. An angel grabs with her. And yeah, there are these cherubs down there. And Rory has this book of matches. He strikes one. And there's a cherub there. And it blows out the match. Genuinely very good. I like that a lot. There aren't many things I like in this episode, but I really like that. And anyway, so like, Amy has a book that she's reading from, which is the book of this adventure, and she reads aloud at some point, why do you have to break it? Because Amy wrote it in a book. So the Doctor goes, oh, I know the future now. And so he reckons it's this moment. But he doesn't know it's River. He doesn't know it's an angel who's going to break her wrist. He just goes, oh, I know someone's going to have to break something because of foreknowledge. And again, it's not exactly a bad idea, but it's just not done very well because he doesn't know it's this specific moment. It could mean anything. And also the Doctor changes the future all the time and he goes, oh, not once it's written. Now you've read about it, it's going to happen. It's going, I'm pretty sure that's not actually the rules, but whatever. So they find the evil hotel, and Rory's in the evil hotel as an old guy and also himself. And so it turns out that the angels are running this hotel where they keep zapping people back in time again and again until they die in this one hotel. So they're sort of keeping people there and just harvesting the time energy. And that's kind of a cool idea. It's really horrible. But I quite like it. And yeah, we see Rory die, and it's like, it's fine. So Rory goes, oh, that's my future, is it? Oh, that's bad. What about Amy? And there's no mention of Amy. So yeah, they go, what are we going to do? Amy and Rory run up to the roof, and Rory goes, oh, if I kill myself now, it'll create a paradox. Now, this is, again, Doctor Who using suicide to get themselves out of a plot hole that they've written themselves into. However, in this instance, I think it kind of works, because it is a ploy by Rory. He is banking on the idea that he will in fact survive, and also the suicide is like causing a specific problem, like the time paradox will poison the angels' ability to maintain this hotel. They won't be able to feed off the time energy because of the time paradox. That works as an idea. So this is the one example of suicide in Doctor Who so far that I'll accept. So like Rory asks Amy to push him off the roof. Amy hops up and they jump off together, which is fine. Like, it's kind of melodramatic. No, it's very melodramatic. Like, it's all done in slow motion. The Doctor's really sad. And look at it, it's just kind... And there's the Statue of Liberty in the background, which again goes unremarked upon, which again makes me think that it was not supposed to always be the Statue of Liberty. And so, yeah, the time paradox changes everything, and everything goes back to being normal, or whatever. And so they go to the fucking graveyard, and they're all like, oh, let's go home. And Rory sees that his name is on the gravestone, and it turns out there's this one angel that zapped Rory, and he's zapped Rory back to New York, and the TARDIS can't go back. And so Amy zaps herself back, and it's just fucking melodramatic and over the top and not very good. And one of the reasons it's not very good is it's actually contrary to what we've been setting up in the last 4 episodes. In the last 4 episodes, we were setting up that Amy and Rory were sort of outgrowing the Doctor. They were sort of, at the start, on Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, Amy was really not living her life because she was waiting for the Doctor to show up. Then in Power of 3, Amy had made that change, and she and Rory were like committing more to life on Earth. And that is a perfectly good reason to exit. Like in The Angels Take Manhattan, they could have just left. Like that, them having to commit suicide together, like, could be the thing that wakes them up and goes, okay, no, it's now too dangerous. Let's just fucking call this. Thanks for being part of our lives, Doctor. We can't travel with you anymore. Like, that would be a perfectly good ending. Instead, they go for this whatever. And so it's like, they get zapped back to this one particular day in New York, and the TARDIS can't go there. Fine. But the TARDIS could go 2 years earlier to a different bit of America. The Doctor could walk over and, like, walk them out. It's such a crap way of going, yeah, no, they're gone, don't worry about it. Angels Take Manhattan is a very frustrating episode because a lot of the things in it are either good or could be good. They're just integrated really badly, or they're kind of written badly, or the production doesn't work. And it's like, if this episode had another like 6 months in the oven, it could have been really good. And the same goes, to be fair, for the other episodes. Like Asylum of the Daleks is good. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship is terrible, but if you took that off Chris Chibnall and gave it to someone else who actually knew how to fucking write, it could have been fine. Town Called Mercy is also bad, but like Power of 3 is genuinely pretty good and only needed cosmetic changes to work. And Angels Take Manhattan is so close to being actually good, but it just swerves a lot. Like, it doesn't work, and so it's bad. And like, Moffat, what the fuck, dude? So like, we know there were production problems with Series 7. We know this because in a few like, it was done in 2 halves again, which is indicative of production problems. We also know it has production problems because the standards are lower. Like, most of the episodes have some significant problems. And we don't really know what was going on. Jen and I did some speculation. Jen thought of the point, which I quite like, that like Moffat might have been a bit of a problem for himself in this series. Like, it's possible he just didn't have the time to do this properly. Because Russell T Davies didn't have the time to do Series 2 properly, which is why Series 2 is the worst. But in this one, maybe Stephen Moffat like developed a problem with feedback. Like, either he stopped taking feedback. You know how J.K. Rowling stopped taking feedback for the Harry Potter books, which is why they got increasingly long and increasingly bad as her career went on. Or people around Stephen Moffat like started trusting him too much. So like with BioWare, there's a story about, I forget if it was Anthem or Mass Effect Andromeda, where the higher-ups in the studio were going, it's okay, guys, I know the project isn't working at the moment, but, you know, just keep going, and that BioWare magic will get us over the line. The BioWare magic will fix everything. And the actual creatives were going, you keep saying the BioWare magic will fix everything, but, like, how? Why? What's going to happen? What do you mean? And so, like, this is entirely speculation, but, like, that's possible. Like, things went wrong with this series. We can say that for certain, which is real fucking shame, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, like series 7. And so yeah, then we're into Clara. Now, for Clara's episodes are kind of, yeah. The Snowman is okay. And then The Bells of St. John is okay. Rings of Acton is okay. Cold War is crap because it's written by Mark Gatiss. And then Hyde's pretty good. Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS is crap. Crimson Horror is crap. Nightmare in Silver is crap. And it's written by Neil Gaiman. Name of the Doctor's okay. And then we have The Day of the Doctor. And The Day of the Doctor is genuinely one of the best episodes, if not the best episode of Doctor Who ever written. And so the thing about this is, let's go ahead and say that Stephen Moffat was rushed and didn't have time to be doing his job properly. Because he was not only doing this series, he was also doing the 50th special. At least the 50th special is good, right? At least we got Day of the Doctor. Whereas out of Series 2, we got the worst series of Doctor Who we've had so far from Series 2. And we got Torchwood, which was also shit. Whereas Day of the Doctor is probably my favourite episode of Doctor Who ever made. So, like... Okay, but this is the thing. So the reason I say all this is because I've rewatched... the back half of Series 7 because I wanted to check on the Impossible Girl stuff. People don't like the Impossible Girl arc, and in my opinion, the Impossible Girl arc is actually pretty good because the scenes with it in are quite good. It's just the episodes they're in, like Crimson Horror, Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS and so on, are shit. Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS is not only shit, it's extremely racist. So, like... Yeah, what a surprise. People have taken some bad episodes and blamed it on the new female character, which is also something Supernatural did with the character of Bella. I think this was in Series 3 of Supernatural. They had the first episode where they introduced a new character who was going to be an ongoing frenemy, basically, and it was a bad episode, and so a lot of people who watched that episode blamed the bad episode on that character, and so the writers wrote that character out, despite the fact that every episode that character was then in was actually really good, and she was a really good presence in the show. And this is how misogyny manifests in real life. So yeah, like Series 7, it's bad, which is a real shame. So previously, before rewatching it, I knew a lot of my friends had sort of fallen off Doctor Who at Series 7. And I'd always gone, well, that's a shame, I wonder why. Unfortunately, now I know why. It's bad. It's not as bad as Series 2. Series 2 is extremely bad. Like, I love Girl on the Fireplace and School Reunion, but if I had the option to just wipe Series 2 of Doctor Who off the map and just leave nothing in its place, I would give up School Reunion and Girl on the Fireplace for that. Yeah. Anyway, so that's where we are with my ongoing Doctor Who breakdown. I wish I could be more positive.